Welcome in, everybody. My name's Carrie Horning. I'm the Career Connected Learning Specialist with NC ESD 171. This series is brought to you by Career Connect Washington and the Apple STEM Network. And I'm so excited to welcome you to today's North Central Washington Most Valuable Partner interview, because it's the first time I've ever welcomed more than one guest at a time. So I'm hoping it's going to be a little unruly with a whole lot of information and fun. So a little housekeeping here. Just want to remind everybody that this series really serves as an opportunity to both introduce or maybe even reintroduce community partners with our educators and our students and other community partners to the unique services that they offer, their needs, and then just detailed information of every single entity that we highlight here. So all of us at Career Connected Learning are beyond grateful to our most valuable partners. We're honored that they've chosen to spend some time with us. So as I say every week, grab your lunch, sit back, and get ready for an extra dose of professional nutrition. I say that even though it's super corny, but so today's guests are with Youth United. Our first guest is Amanda Bobbitt. She's a youth trainer with SkillSource Wenatchee, and she's actually been with Youth United since its inception in 2010. So that's pretty cool. Tammy McBride is also a Career Connected Learning Specialist with the NCESD. I realized that I said I'm the Career Connected Learning Specialist, but there's more than one. So, and Tammy is that extraordinaire. She's got a ton of experience as well. She spent 6+ years with Lazy F Camp. So she's putting her services here with Youth United. We also have Madison White on the call. She's the Youth United Director, and she also has experience. She was a counselor at Camp Zanika for many years. And then to round this out, we have Henderson. And I just want to say that she introduced herself yesterday as Healthy Helperton. And I love that. So I'm sticking with it.
I love that.
Yeah, it's so good. So, welcome, ladies. I am going to repeat again what I've said before in prior interviews, that the common theme with our MVPs is that you folks love your work and you are the helpers. So I am going to say that's my overall introduction for all of you. And I'm going to say, welcome. Are you ready to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. Well, let's get to it. Thanks for coming, everybody. So my first question actually is, as I'm looking at Madison and Heaven sitting on screen, I see a campfire banner behind you. And when I first logged in, I got a little bit confused. So can you kind of describe to us what that's all about?
Yeah, I think the most important part of it is that we're all from independent nonprofits. We have our own stuff going on, but we kind of got together in 2020 and decided that we wanted to bring Youth United back. Amanda will kind of touch on kind of the history behind it, but I think that the importance is that we're all working together to serve as many students as possible. So we're actually through Campfire NCW. And then I've also listed in the chat some of our other community partners. So if you guys want to go to that, you can see that below as well.
Nice. Thank you. That helps kind of clarify that a little bit. I love that. Okay. So first question is, and I believe I'm going to direct this towards Amanda. Tell us a little bit about Youth United.
Yeah. So Youth United is a program, as Heaven mentioned, that is just a lot of passion between partners in the Valley. It started a little over 10 years ago now, actually in the 2010-2011 school year by United Way, under the kind of oversight of Trina Hughrd at the time, modeled after another program over in Pierce County that did a really great job. And it was really successful. The schools really loved it. The students really got a lot out of it. The purpose of it was to empower and reward students for volunteer service. We have so many programs in schools that are awesome that help students letter for cross country or tennis or football or maybe clubs or drama. We love those, but we wanted to have something that also rewards students for providing community service, for giving back. How huge is that? So students can get a letter if they volunteer 145 hours of service or more, which is kind of the equivalent to what a one-season sport would be. That's where we came up with that number. So like I said, it started a long time ago. That was the gist of it. Students really loved being a part. And when the program went through some transition, kind of went away for a few years, and this group is bringing it back. Starting with Wenatchee High School. There is some interest at Wenatchee High School. There's some students that are definitely going to letter this year.
Nice.
So yeah, super excited to see just what it can do for them and in the years going forward.
So can I add in, a little thought when you talk about that? I have a little bit of personal experience with some community service, more so in the Quincy area, and a lot of high school seniors who did their senior projects with us. We had a guild for a fundraising guild for Children's Hospital, so I kind of know what that looks like. But can you tell our audience what does that look like if a student wants to get involved in that and use their community service to earn their letter and participate? What are some examples of that?
Yeah, so like I said, targeted efforts have really been at Wenatchee High School now, but we have letters from schools all over Chelan and Douglas counties. So if someone from, Manson wanted to reach out to us to be a part of it, or Leavenworth, that we can definitely make room for those passionate individuals. But what they would do is get a hold of, ideally, Madison. We have an email address that is, if you could drop that in the chat. I think it's Youth United at Campfire. Let me double check that, but it'll end up in the chat.
NCW.
At NCW. Or they can reach out to maybe their school counselor, their Key Club advisor, folks like that, typically that are involved in volunteerism. They get a little bit of info about the program. Hopefully they've been doing some volunteer hours, or they can ask us to get, maybe find some fun opportunities in the area. And then they turn in those hours at the end of our program year, which is April 1st is the end of the year. So March 31st is the very end. April 1st is when the new program year begins.
Okay.
Any hours that they've done prior to even knowing who we are, if it's in that program year, they can still count those, they can turn those in. We go through and do some behind the scenes verification and let them know if they've lettered or not.
Yeah, terrific. So it could be picking up garbage, or it could be volunteering at a senior center, or, anything like that. Okay, great.
Yeah, it's pretty flexible. We just ask that there is some kind of a supervisor that can verify, because who knows how much garbage is picked up. So having maybe coming to the NCESD and asking you guys, and then having someone like a Tammy sign off on that, or someone from their church or from a school club. Just having an adult that can verify that is really the biggest thing that we need.
Perfect. I love it. All right. So speaking kind of, specifically about Youth United, what is Youth United's mission?
A great question, Carrie. So our mission statement with Youth United is to provide a platform for youth for all backgrounds and abilities to serve their community and gain leadership experiences through volunteerism. Our goals with Youth United is really what we focus on with youth-led projects. We're here to support the students, but it's really like all of their own thing. It's their own projects, what they want to do and what they're leading. Really, it ties into with our involvement with Career Connect. The students are learning about important aspects for their personal success to provide them with like life skills and networking opportunities, or also resume building, and having them really give back to the community. So that's really just kind of what we really focus on.
Nice. So, we've had a couple years here that have been, stop, start. The kids have been in school and out of school. So as you look forward into 2022, what does that look like for Youth United?
Yeah, so as COVID kind of dies out, we're super excited about upcoming opportunities, working with different organizations, things like that. A lot of our kids are freshmen, so we're super excited to just watch them grow, just watching them develop different skills and finding out what they're passionate about. We have in the past been in middle schools and other high schools in the Valley, but as of 2022, we're really focusing on Eastmont and Wenatchee High School. but we're super excited to expand. We just had our first meeting on February 17th, and it was amazing. We had a great turnout. These kids are super, super excited to get into the Valley and volunteer. They all came up with the ideas that they want to do, so they're super excited. We're just here to watch them thrive. And then going off that, our next meeting is March 17th, St. Patty's Day. So we're going to be celebrating St. Patty's Day. We're going to have the kids march in the St. Patty's Day parade, which is super exciting. We're going to show off Youth United and everything we're about. But we are meeting at the YMCA from 4 to 6, and we're going to be talking about all the volunteer opportunities that are going on in the Valley.
Perfect. So March 17th, 4 to 6.
Yes.
Is the first meeting. So if somebody wants to actually really dig in and help support Youth United, how can they go about doing that? Is it just show up at that meeting, or what would you suggest?
Yeah, so they can totally show up at the meeting. Parents are always welcome. But we really, really need different nonprofits or just organizations to help us out, get this going, get the word out to the kids, and just support us.
Great. Do you have any targeted organizations that you're thinking might be really great partners? If we give them a shout out, who knows, they might show up.
Currently, we're honestly just looking for volunteer opportunities. The more, the better. This is the perfect time to help the community. We're kind of in a standstill, but I think that like working together would be great for these kids to make this a better community for all of us.
Terrific.
So at the moment, not necessarily, but everybody, we're kind of just hoping that this can get as big and as successful as possible. These kids are great and they have some really great ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, on that thought process, if, the students are coming in with their ideas of what they want to do, when we talk about maybe having industry partners come in, as support, maybe getting on board to help, help grow Youth United. What if they come in, kind of with their, plan or an agenda could they present that to you?
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. I think the best part about this program is that it is a youth-led program.
Mm-hmm.
So like we had some ideas going into the meetings to kind of lead them, but for the most part, they came up with the ideas. They are the ones who want to be in charge of it when they have that passion and when they're so excited and they're the ones picking what the project is. I feel like it's more successful that way. Definitely having ideas from community partners would be amazing. But these kids, honestly, like I didn't have to say anything. They just knew exactly what they wanted to do and they knew exactly how to make it work. So I think that's probably the best part.
I think you're right. Those soft skills, when you've got a self-starter and critical thinker, all those things are so important right now. That's terrific. Good. Well, okay. So every time I do these interviews, I ask this question and I always kind of preface it with the fact that I'm a feeler. There's so much good work being done. So I always like to ask, what is it? What story has stuck with you in your work? And I know that we've got multiple entities here. You guys have a varied, experience with other entities. So I'd actually kind of like to ask that maybe of each of you, if you wouldn't mind kind of sharing just something, if it's something that stayed with you and you think it's important to share out, I'd love to hear it.
I don't know if Amanda, if you want to go first or if I can go first.
Yeah, I can kick that off. So been involved with Youth United for a while now, as a student, first in middle school and then in high school, and then now in just the let's make sure it stays in the community capacity. And there were so many good experiences. I mean, I spent a lot of time up at Alethea Writing Center, which is a therapeutic horse rehabilitation center for individuals with disabilities. So like that was super fun. I think the biggest thing that sticks with me though is in high school, volunteering wasn't always like the coolest thing, at least not back then, like I had a lot of friends that while I love them dearly, they would ask me like, well, why don't you just work? And I did work too, but like, why? Look at all that money you could be making. Look at all these other things you could be doing. Why are you spending so much time doing this? And so there was a lot of doubt there, but having this program that's full of other students just like you who have the same emphasis on it. You're getting rewarded for it. Really just like made me feel like I had a place. I wasn't just the weird kid that volunteered on, the weekends. I had a whole community of people around me that did the same and that told me just how awesome that was. So I think I remember at the awards ceremony just feeling so validated for being myself. And I hope that, that continues to happen for other students.
I love that. Yeah, thank you for sharing. All right, anybody else want to take a stab at that?
I don't mind jumping in really fast. So my mom, growing up when I was a kid, she was the director of the retired and senior volunteer program of Kittitas Valley. So growing up in Ellensburg, I was constantly around volunteerism. My mom always getting me involved and my brother in anything possible, right? So actually Youth United was something that I got into, I think during my high school career. And that was something that she placed me in, was like always like, oh, it's going to be great on your resume. Got to get out there, got to do this, got to do that. That's really where that kind of started for me back then, was that that's where I started liking to learn how to get outside and go hiking. I was a part of some volunteer group that we restored the pathway out of Menashtash Ridge. There's a huge hike out there, and we went out there and we did some volunteer work and clearing brush and making that pathway like available better after a huge harsh winter and that type of stuff. But at the end of it, we got to go hike that entire hike, and then they brought us back down and we had cake and I don't know, snacks and stuff, but that's the one thing that goes back to me every time. That I'm like, oh yeah, if it wasn't for that experience, I probably wouldn't be hiking now. And I hike all the time. So that's something that really resonates with me, but.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome. All right, we got Madison and Heaven left. You have anything you want to share?
Yeah, that's awesome. I really liked you guys' things. Those were really cute. So thank you for sharing that. Personally, I always wanted to be a part of Youth United when I was a kid. I volunteered mostly with like my friends. My friends were a part of Youth United. So like it was just a fun thing that I did. I didn't necessarily even know anything about the program, which is so cool now that I know about it now. Yeah. And like the things that I could have gained out of it, which is so awesome. But yeah, when I was a kid, I really didn't know much about it. So that's why I'm so passionate about it today. But I did also get a quote. So Danielle Meadows is an ASL teacher at Wenatchee High School, and she graciously sent us this quote for me to use today. And she says, I was first introduced to Youth United when I was in middle school, and I really felt an instant connection to the program. I received my medal and other presidential awards all throughout middle school. I was Volunteer of the Year in 8th grade. When I was in 8th grade, I joined Youth Leadership Council, which really allowed me to serve my community on a whole new level. I varsity lettered all 4 years in high school. I was also Presidential Award winner all 4 years, a member of the 500 Club all 4 years, and Volunteer of the Year once during my high school career. My senior year, I was awarded the President's Call to Service Award for volunteering over 4,000 hours in my lifetime. These awards gave me a sense of accomplishment, but also helped me tremendously when applying for jobs, colleges, and scholarships. While the awards are great, I credit Youth United for much more. I gained a lot of confidence because of the program. I learned how to talk with individuals of all ages in our community, how to work with and lead a team, and how to plan and facilitate fun events, and so much more. I built plenty of relationships within the community, which helped me in my personal and private life. I also gained an extreme appreciation for our wonderful community. Most importantly, I had a lot of fun. I felt like I had a purpose beyond myself. I really enjoyed seeing the difference I made in the community. To this day, I credit a lot of my success to the skills I learned during my time volunteering with Youth United. I'm a huge supporter and advocate for the program, and I'm excited it is back up and running again. So I
Wow.
thought that was really great.
That's amazing. Can you, okay, for people who may be watching this after the fact when it's recorded, can you repeat who wrote that again?
Her name is Danielle Meadows, and she is an ASL teacher at Wenatchee High School, and she did the program when it was first going. So I thought that was really great. I think she did it with Amanda, right?
Yeah, we got to do it together. We served on the Youth Leadership Council together. So, and it was cool. I got to see Danielle grow into such, from maybe a little bit of a quieter middle schooler to like a loud, proud, capable woman who is now, teaching at Wenatchee High School. So it's cool to hear that from her.
Oh, super cool. I mean, a lot of the work that Tammy and I do for Career Connected Learning, we're talking about social capital and we're talking about soft skills. Everything she said in that letter was chock full of social skills and social capital. I mean, that doesn't get any better than that. That's a perfect testimony. And really, one of the things that maybe we haven't touched on yet, when we think about these students out doing this work, they're building social capital and networks for their resume, for those college, entry, applications, for scholarship applications. Those things count. And I think they count more than any of us, maybe give them credit. Maybe not this crew that I've got, online today, but, some of the work that was done through the Pearly Whites Fundraising Guild for Children's Hospital here in the Quincy Valley. One of the volunteers, one of the gals in the club, she'd been in it, I believe, since maybe 7. I don't remember how old they all were when they started, but 7 or 8 years old through high school and that senior project. She really felt like she came back and said, I feel like that was a key factor for me getting into University of Washington. So everything that you're saying is I mean, it's just perfect. It's perfect to build up those student resumes. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I'm really glad that she took time to write that letter. So Madison, I don't want to leave you out. I'm chit-chatting over here on a podcast. So I'm supposed to be interviewing all of you. So what do you have to share with us? I know you have lots of experience as well.
Yes. So I am the one that actually goes to the schools and talks to the students and gets them involved. So I've been to a lot of classrooms. And I think the coolest thing is kind of what Heaven said, is just seeing teachers that were involved. I've had several teachers be like, I did Youth United, and just hearing from my friends in high school that I didn't know did Youth United. And I was like, what? Because they knew immediately when I got the job. I didn't even have to explain what I was doing. They're like, oh, I know Youth United. So I think it's super cool being in the community and seeing people recognize Youth United and just growing from there.
Very nice. Good. Yeah, thank you. So, okay, we're kind of winding down. We've got, just over 7 minutes here. So I feel like it's such a really, the depth of the program, we've maybe only scratched the surface. So is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about Youth United that we haven't covered yet?
So currently,
I love it.
Sorry. Currently, we're teaming up with the Salvation Army, and this is an idea that the kids came up with. So this is something that we're really excited about. So we're going to be gathering donations at Wenatchee High School and hopefully at Eastmont. We're just still working out a couple of details with that. And this will be for just teachers and students only. So they'll be collecting donation items, and I'll go over that in a minute. But we'll also be having boxes at the Campfire North Central Washington office and the Wenatchee YMCA during regular business hours. We're collecting non-perishable food items, feminine products, diapers, non-expired baby formula, and disposable face masks. And you can check out our Facebook page, Youth United Chelan Douglas, or email Madison. And I put her email in the link, but hers is youthunitedncw@gmail.com for any updates, questions, anything that you guys might need.
Okay, great. I love that. I just said in the text or in the chat, I asked if anyone could add that information that you just shared into chat. So that'd be great. Because then anybody who's listening right now can actually just hit the 3 little dots at the bottom left of chat and save it. So then they've got everybody's email. They've got the information about the meeting coming up on March 17th. And then they'll have the information about the items that you're, going to be collecting. So that'd be great if anyone else wants to put that in. So anyone else, anything else that you wanted to cover from Amanda or Tammy, Madison, any other things that we wanted to cover?
I was just going to say the big thing that I think we all have been just kind of talking about was just volunteer opportunities. We're constantly looking for that, for just different ideas for students. So if there's anybody that's interested in having students get involved with their company or business or organization, please send it our way. And that is also to go along with volunteers for our committee. We're still looking. We would love to have you be a part of us and join. So reach out to us and we would be happy to add you to one of our meetings. We've got a great committee and we'd love to have you. So
that's terrific. So who is the best contact if somebody wants to really dig in a little bit deeper about joining the committee?
Madison.
Sorry, Madison is kind of.
Yeah. All right, Madison, and we've got your email in the in the chat, correct? Okay. All right. Awesome. So now we're really winding down. I want to open it up. Are there any questions from the audience? I'm getting in the chat. I see. Oh, thanks. They didn't know that you could save chat. So you learn something new every day. It's not always from Carrie Horning, but hey, that's pretty good. So we've got the Facebook information. Any other questions? You can either jump right in and ask via mic, or you can type it in the chat. Give a couple seconds. No? Okay. All right. Well, we're doing pretty good. We're down to about 3 minutes. I like to keep track of time so that we're very respectful. I know everybody is busy, and we've got a sunny day out. I feel like when the sun kind of re-emerges, I feel like it makes us all even just a little bit more busy, but we might just be antsy to get outside. So, so let me just say here in the final minutes, and again, if anybody has questions, feel free to jump in, you can interrupt, but I just want to again say the common thread here is that everybody in these interviews is a helper, and we thank you for what you're doing. Hopefully we've increased the awareness about Youth United. I feel like we have a pretty broad reach. NCSD really covers all of North Central Washington. So hopefully we can kind of share all of this out, but thank you to each and every one of you, for coming in today. We've got one comment. As a former campfire girl and with a daughter who was one as well, I love that you are doing so much with our youth. Woo, woo, yep.
Woo, woo, campfire.
I love it. Yep. This is the thing. This is kind of to introduce or reintroduce, and this is just it. So thank you all for sharing your message about Youth United. Thanks for taking the time to come in with us today. I'm going to give you back about a minute and a half of your day and say thanks.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Carrie. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.